Welcome back to our coverage of Tom's Tourney here in Bruges in Belgium, the 25th edition of this world famous tournament. We are down to bracket play. It is the crucial time into open quarterfinals here between two teams we've actually already seen today on the live stream. A reappearance for CUSB Fotta from Bologna in Italy in the white, and from Tchac from France in the blue. Tchac going to start on the left-hand side of the pitch, going from left to right. Bologna starting on the right-hand side. Bologna going to be starting on defence this game. Tchac will receive the ball and start on offence. After a slightly overcast start to the day, we've got an absolutely glorious, glorious sunshine here in Bruges. Some cloud beginning to develop, but nothing really to spoil the spirits of everyone in attendance here at this wonderful, wonderful event. Both sides got 7 on the line, just about ready to start here. Shaq doing that, their bird cawing on the sidelines. Bologna ready to pull, and we are underway. He's caught a move upfield. It's number 12, Romain Moret, with a disc at the moment. On the sideline to Eric Becker. Nice low release backhand there. This is going to stay down that far sideline. Nice open cut underneath. Little dish off with that lefty backhand. It's Moret with a disc here. Breaks it around to Hervé. Abita with the disc now. Still count getting high. Nice throw in front of the receiver, which is Bossa. Let's go towards that far sideline. Inside. Flip a little backhand out into space for Becker. Sees a window with that low release backhand. Perhaps rushes it, knowing the windows in the end zone are so tight and so close so quickly. Perhaps a better decision would have been to holster it there. Nonetheless, he does take it, and Bologna are going to have a chance to start this game with a break. Number 12, Davide Mori, is going to bring this disc in here on the end zone line. He's going to swing it to Luca Tognetti, who had an excellent game on the stream here earlier. Swingers again, nice run in the give go. He's going to put this deep. The wind's going to sit, going to make this sit. Is he going to get there in time? It's going to be tough, but it is just too far. Number 69, Roberto Bolle, was the closest receiver, but it was just too far. But it was too far for him in the end. Bologna can play quite an exhilarating style at times, and they're not afraid to strike deep when they think it's there, but unfortunately at that point it doesn't come off for them. Disc coming in from the front of the end zone. Good pressure from Bologna, nice tight physical defence. Captain Mathieu Bosse with the disc. This is Thomas Hervé, and he's going to put this deep. This is going to hang. A couple of defenders under it. Oh, he got it at the second attempt! What a catch! Olivier Labby looked like he got there first, but couldn't quite reel it in. Vincent Abita is the happy recipient of a little bit of sloppy seconds there, but this might be going back for a call, maybe a travel on the throw here. Certainly exhilarating nonetheless. Both sets of players tend to begin to clear the field. Very lively start to this game. Very wide force from Davide Mori there. But this does go to Becker underneath. And he's going to launch it. Looking for the captain and Matthew Boss there. He does make the catch. This time there is no call. This one will stand. Tchac strike first. They started on offense, but it's a nice hold to get the game going for them. They lead CUSB Fotta 1-0. That is certainly an eventful opening point. If everything else this game goes the same way that does, we are in for a real treat here. Two really high quality sides here. You know that you're going to get big plays, huge throws, some massive bids. This is going to be a real barnstormer, I can tell you that now. Getting a second look at this score there. It's a lovely throw, just sitting in the end zone. And Shaq player more than happy to chase that down. For the 1-0 lead for the French side. Bologna going to get the disc moving on offense here. Michele Nudi will start. Angelo with the disc now. Gasparini's going to put this deep. Roble will happily pick that up. Disc is sung towards the far sideline. Receiver takes off deep, but there isn't. The switching creates a wide open under, and another one. And now that disc can go. Number 20, Fabio Coppi, is in attendance. He's going to read that well, get there before the Shaq player can. Now they've got to reset, re-establish themselves on defense. Nudi there with the disc, he swings it. Gasparini finds a player underneath, and he's going to put it. Ideolo looks like it might be just too far, but going to his knees. Guglielmo Cini slides down and makes the catch for the hold. CUSB Fotta evening it up at 1 goal to all here. 1 goal to all, 1 goal each. Certainly a lively and exhilarating start to this game. Both teams clearly pumped. Clearly this game means a lot to both sides, as well it should. Anytime you get an opportunity to progress deeper into the bracket at a big world-renowned tournament like this, you really want to take those opportunities, especially with Worlds qualification coming up this year and the World Championships next year. You want to try and get as much momentum as you can going into these qualification events later in the year. Victories in early season tournaments like this can be crucial if you see these teams down the road. It can really affect how you play against each other. CUSB getting ready to pull here. Mori will pull. That ball perhaps not quite what they had in mind. And 21 now with the disc for Tchac, and he's going to send it towards that far sideline for Hervé. Becker slides down and makes the catch with both hands. A lot of pressure there, but More's got it comfortably. Mastroianni won the force. The disc goes to Becker. He's going to put that deep. That is a spicy throw. That is just going to harmlessly go out of bounds over the goal at the back end of the pitch. Bit of an impatient, maybe, decision there. Don't think it was quite there. Looked like he just wanted it rather than seeing when it was actually available. Shaq will have to play some defense now if they want to hold to this point here. Slightly impulsive from the thrower. Just with the distance, there's a poach on this near sideline. So choosing to break the force around to Mori. Receiver with a couple of steps. He's absolutely lasering that disc deep. Nice grab, laying out, catching it in the clap catch. He offloads it, but it's not quite there. Swings it back into the centre for Tignetti. No, it's Arturo Laffi. He gets the disc back on that give-go. And into the end zone for the break for the first point. It's Gabriel Cazzola. It's the first break of the game. And it's CUSB get it. The team from Bologna take a 2-1 lead. Play at that point, though, is all down to Santucci. Excellent layout bid off that laser of a throw from Davide Mori. We're going to have another look at it here now. Goes down and knows that actually, although he's laying out, he can still clap catch it, reducing the chance of ground stripping himself when he lands. Good decision there by the player. And then also not rushing the throw into the end zone, seeing there's nothing there and putting it back, giving his team a chance to reset before they score. And there is the score there on the replay towards that far cone. CUSB lead Tchac by 2-1 here. Battle of these two European ultimate giants here at Tom's Tourney. Because we're deciding how they'll want to match up with this ball. Looks like they'll be going with a person defense here. Going to be Davide Mori to pull again. He's going to boost that deep. It's not fielded cleanly by Becker for Shaq. Tchac go to a side stack here. Look to reset between the handlers until they can get that big gainer upfield in the isolated space. Nice play between the handlers though. That could go deep. Decide against it in the end. Mori with a very loose mark. Because then get to Roble on this sideline. The other line doesn't work. A lot of contact on that bid there. And he's not contesting that foul, which I think is the right decision. Cazzola wanted the bid, but he was clearly late in there. Bossa will shrug off that contact. Shaq will keep going here. Nice calm throw. Poked upfield by Abita. Becker now with the disc. He swings it for Moro. But that throw, stall count rising, is picked off by Tignetti. He's got the disc back again. Looking to quickly, nice low release backhand. They are just shredding this Shaq defense. They cannot get set. And Tignetti throws to Valivello for the score. That was devastating from CUSB. They got on a roll and they just couldn't stop. Just motoring away there from the French side. And CUSB are feeding it right now as they take a 3-1 lead. Shaq a bit shell-shocked, calling a timeout here early on in this game. Trying to arrest momentum back from the Italian side. Don't want to let this get out of hand early in these short games. If any side can build too large a lead, they're in for real trouble. There's a little crowd beginning to develop down the sidelines here as we get down towards crunch time with this tournament. Saturday beginning to wind down, at least the ultimate is. There's still plenty of fun to be had in the evening at the parties. Before we head into the real meat of the tournament tomorrow. Both sides trying to get themselves motivated out of this timeout. If you're Tchac, you know that you can play a bit better than you have been doing. You just made a couple of execution errors and try not to stray too far from who you are as a team. If you're CUSB, just don't worry about the timeout, take a breath, keep doing what you're doing. But it's always interesting to see how teams react out of these situations. CUSB just deciding matchups on this point. Tchac working out who's doing what. Pull goes up to Shaq. Mora with the disc now. Nice break to Bossa, captain of this French side. A little cheeky high release break there. Continue it towards that side. Gets back to number 21, Hulin. He does shoot deep. That is not going to be got by the defender. Mastroianni can't get there. Bossa will catch it comfortably for the goal. A fairly rudimentary hold there for the French side, as much as you can get at this level of competition anyway. They've cut the deficit now to 3 goals to 2. It's a nice reset by the French side before they can strike deep. And that's definitely in the end zone. No question there about where his first point of contact is. And we going to see that reset to Hulin. The mark's a bit loose, he's got enough space to really step into that throw, really pump it deep. And it's a fairly comfortable catch in the end. Tchac getting ready to pull. There come the bird calls from the sideline. Nudi with the disc. That throw might sail a bit. Oh, huge bid by the CUSB player. It's number 28, Alberto Tourney, who's saving that one. It's been a little IO backhand into space for the receiver to run onto. That throw, however, is going to be well cleaned up by Fai. And that throw is just out of reach of the defender. Slips trying to adjust as well, so doesn't have a chance to possibly make a saving play. And a reset here to Andrea Mastroianni. He's going to sneak that backhand through. They do love those leading inside-out backhands to CUSB. Just shy of the end zone here. Transitioning into a vertical set, but I think there's a pick in the stack downfield. I think saw someone make that signal in the end zone. Or maybe it's an injury, in fact, actually. Looks like Andrea Mastroianni is the player to come off. Didn't quite see what happened there. Gonna get another look at this excellent bid by Tourney. Defender right in his shoulder, making that outstretched grab horizontally with his left hand. And then searching for that Oyo break. But that time it definitely is a pick. You can see them making the signal in the stack. That's going to go back to the handler, who is Nudi. He's going to break that around and continue it into the end zone for the wide open score. Michele Angela there on the goal. CUSB extend the gap there. Back to 2 points. It's a 4-2 lead now for the Italian side. Get another kind of excellent possession-saving grab from Tourney. Gets horizontal, then scoops it up with that left hand. Just determined that that was going to be his disc. And there we are, we see continuing that disc to the break side. Wide open for the goal. No trouble at all for a team of CUSB's quality. Tchac's last open was about as calm and cool as you can get at this level. We're interested to see if they're able to replicate that this time round, or whether it's a slightly more dicey proposition. You can bet the CUSB will will be trying to ramp up their defense here. Might be a little spin before the pull. Doesn't really come to fruition though. Sailed out the side of the end zone. It's going to be more for Tchac to bring this in from the brick mark for the French side. Looking for Evo underneath. It's got Abita. It does centre it to Hervé. The lefty takes that flick to Moret. Big bump on the mark. He sees the man he likes in the end zone. And he has the goal. It's Bossa again. The captain is a big target for this Tchac team, and he's proving it already early doors, being a vital player for their offense. The French side closed the gap to 4-3 here. There is a lot left in this game, and it is going to be exciting, I can tell you that. The Tchac Brain Trust having a discussion about how they want to set up for defence on this point. Sidelines for both sides beginning to get loud now as ever more spectators gather around the pitch. Nudi with the disc hit now. Tonelli's underneath, is open underneath on that cut. Sokolski on the mark. He's going to reset. This is faked upfield. Back to Tonelli. 228s marked up against each other here. This is going to be an interesting matchup. But it stays low to the ground. Doesn't touch it though. Angelo with the disc is going to reset into the middle. You can see that IO, nice grab, outstretched with the right hand. Looking in towards the end zone for a backhand around break, and he just about squeezes that in there. Not a lot of room and not a lot of margin for error, but he absolutely nailed that one. It's 35. Guglielmo Cini on the score. Doing an excellent job of keeping himself in bounds, knowing where the sideline was. Timing his cut perfectly so the throw could go and he wouldn't be there too early. It's an exciting game here, lots of back and forth, with CUSB Fotta currently leading Tchac 5-3. You can see this again, pivoting right the way around for that low release backhand. And in the end, it is comfortably in. Nothing to worry about for Cini. Excellent work from the Italian side. Andrea Mastroianni, who went off earlier this game with an injury, he's taken a cleat off his right foot. So I don't know if we'll be able to see him again this game. Hope for his sake that we will do. But we're not sure at this stage. pull goes from CUSB. Running towards the sideline, but it's fielded well by Ulan. He finds Becker in the middle. He's going straight out towards that sideline, and they continue out down that far sideline. A zonal look here from CUSB. Tchac has space to use the swing, and they've got 4 men close to the disc. Happy to just give and go and reset. Ulan's open on this near side, but they're not looking at him at the moment. They finally do. Maybe worried about getting trapped on this sideline. It's a little pop, slightly more towards the centre for Becker. And they're going to continue it towards that, begin to continue towards that sideline. Ulan scubas through, draws a couple of defenders in. They can work it towards the break side now, can Tchac. The hammer's going to go over the top for Becker. Lefty hammer there, looks like the righty hammer there, even. Becker's going to put that over the top. The receiver's in space, he's going to catch it. And decide against the first option. Proves to be a good decision. They will follow that up for the goal. Nice holster there by the Tchac captain. Looks at what he sees, thinks about it, decides against it. And in the end, it's a relatively simple backhand down the line for the goal, closing the gap to 5-4. You get a replay of it. Thinks about the first throw, decides against it. But the receiver is wide open down the line, and there's no problem following that up with a goal. Shaq will pull now. A pull that goes deep into the CUSB end zone. Good hustle to chase down that pull from Shaq as well. Looking to isolate some players in the middle of the field with a side stack. Andrea Mastroianni is recleated now and is back on the field here. He's being marked by number 70, Ron Robley. Fakes the big, but decides against it. A little push pass into space. Tonelli's going to laser it. It's going to blade. It's going to be over the head of Robley and caught by Andrea Mastroianni, making an impact on his first point back on the pitch after that injury. CUSB are pumped here. The Bolognians taking a 6-4 lead over the side from France. Shaq's offense has generally been pretty good, but on defense they're struggling to generate turnovers. They're putting pressure on, but they're not quite generating the opportunities. If you're them, you kind of want to, do you keep up what you're doing and hope that the turnovers will come soon? Or do you try and change things up a bit to give Fotta something different to think about? Tchac sending out their O-line here. It's going to be Tourney to pull here for Fotta. It's a big backhand going outside in. It doesn't have the edge in it that he wanted. It will begin to tail back in bounds at the end though. That's an excellent pull from Tourney, one of the best we've seen so far today. Just gone that far sideline now with Moray. Nice scuba over the top. Boss has got it on this sideline. It's a low throw. It's caught well by Lab. Goes into the centre. There's no continuation downfield. They're just going to reset it back to the handlers. Fakes the hammer over the top. So we'll swing to Ulan. Huge bid there by Enrico Mastroianni, and he might have caught Becker on the way through. Hope he's okay. Understand that he's just going for the disc. But you've got to watch for that sort of thing when you go for it. Then follows it up with the bump on the mark as well. High release Becker gets it over the, I think you could call him pesky Mastroianni. Rifled through to Labe. Reset now to Becker. He's going to swing it. It's Moray now with the disc. He will scuba it backwards to Becker. Not afraid to use these scubas, are they, the French? I like that about them. Little offhand, backhand there. Find Hulan on this sideline. Becker's going to hammer that over the top. Lose a few yards to it, but really spreading out this CUSB Fotta defense. They cannot switch off for a second because this disc is going to keep moving over and over and over. Becker has it now. He fakes that flick. Still count beginning to rise. Does get the flick off. Playing a little homeboy now down the pitch. Working it through that cup, crashing it through. Oh, a lot of contact on that mark from Tignetti. Do you understand that they are just trying to make the play, but you've got to be more aware of what's around you, I think. Foul will not be contested and will come in from 0. 3 set to Hervé. Another big bid. This time it's Giovanni Santucci though. Again, he came very close, but it is quite a high level of contact of all of these, even if they do get them. Martis reset and swung around with that backhand break. Stoppage downfield. It's resolved and play continues now. Looking for the upline throw. Oh, he's going to blade that into the end zone. Plucked out of the air with the left hand. There's that man again, it's Mathieu Bosset. He's been on fire this game. Makes the score now 6-5 to CUSB, closing that gap for Shaq though. Still effective. I make that 3 or 4, maybe even 4 goals already so far this game. It's been all over the field for the French side. Doing an excellent job. You have to wonder here if Tchac are perhaps rethinking their defensive strategy, whether they perhaps switch to his own or perhaps continue with this person, perhaps with a different focus, maybe concentrate on taking away unders or deeps, maybe switching up the force, maybe going force middle. It'll be interesting to see what their defensive look is at this point. Because moving the disc forward, and it is a lone look. It looks like one person on the, maybe 3 up front, a couple in the back, lots of switching. It might even be just a simple man, but very loose on the handlers. It looks like they're going flat on the handlers, poaching off, trying to keep them there while going man and switching downfield. A nice hybrid there. I like the look of that. Something that perhaps the Italians don't see that often. Mastroianni resets the disc there to Nudi. Bologna happy to play it around the back for the moment to Fabio Coppi. He fakes the big, but decides against it, holsters it, sends it to Francini instead. It's Andrea Mastroianni on that sideline. Francini has it now. Just goes back into the centre. Happy to swing around for minimal yard gains, but continue to get there when they do advance forward like there. Number 9 Gasparini has the disc and offloads it. Bologna slowly but surely marching down the field here. Mastroianni has it just short of the end zone. They expect the transition to come here, but the throw is going to come to space before the defenders can recover. Foe was the closest man, but he wasn't close enough to make the play. Michele Angela catching the disc there for the Italians, restoring their 2-goal advantage at 7-5. Bologna here trying to work out what their strategy was going to be on defence for the next point. Tchac meanwhile all lined up, ready to go. Don't want to wait around for this. Hand up, ready to receive the pull. It's going to be Mori to pull it for the Italians. Time beginning to run out in this game, only about 15 minutes left now. That ball's going to roll out the sideline, which is exactly what the Italians wanted. And this moves upfield before the Italians can set. They can just swing it into the middle now. The dump falls over on that reset cut. And it's a stall out for the Italians. Nothing quite moving downfield. Throw release too late. Tourney on the force does a good job of stopping the upfield. And the around backhand break into the end zone for the goal. And the break of serve for the Italians. It's number 69 on the goal, Roberto Bolle. 8-5 now for CUSB. Beginning to really wrest this game away here from the French side. The boys in blue are going to have to make some adjustments if they're going to bring this back here. Not quite sure how they're going to do it though. They just need to find a way of getting their energy up. They took their time out early in the game, so they don't have that in their back pocket to use anymore. But as we've seen so far, 3 points is nothing in this tournament. Mori ready to pull here for the Italians. It's another one of these blading backhands, hoping it's going to roll out of bounds. This is fielded very confidently though by Shaq. Hervé's running wide open underneath. Trying to isolate players in the lane, give them space to cut. That's a nice little lead throw for the handler, Becker. Get it around. The defender's fallen over. Nice switch though by Davide. Gets there just in time, does Mori. Oh, that's a big arm in the back there. It falls over him as well. This looks like he's bent the disc as well at the same time. They're going to switch that over. See a lot of contact on that one there. I think it's number 20, Andrea Valiviello on the force right now. So it's going to go back. Nice bid. It was definitely further than he wanted it to go. But there is a call downfield. Play will restart here. That play will stand. It did not. The cooldown field did not affect it. Novo will break that around here to Hulan. Big bid. It's not going to come off. Becker's going to jam that blade down the sidelines into the front corner of the end zone. Vincent Abita will go without gleefully. Shaq needed that hold. 9-5 makes it very difficult to come back from. At 8-6, they are, however, still very much in this game. Big bid from Maury. Doesn't quite get there. Leaves him out of position. There's no one on the mark, and he's able to comfortably put that throw into the end zone for the goal. Roll curving around the defence. With 10 minutes left, you get the feeling every point is decisive from here on in. You cannot make any mistakes, as these teams will punish them, as Mastroianni gets the disc here in the middle of the field. Getting it towards that sideline for Gasparini. Angela gets the disc underneath. He could put this here, decides against it, and holsters it, sends it back for Nudi. Bit of contact on that mark. Plays through it, it's fine now on applying the force. Nudi has it again. Gets that outside in blade into the break side. Disc in the centre now with 35, Chini. Goes up and grabs it with the left hand, just Gasparini. Both sidelines getting really loud here, the pressure mounting. Nudi's got it in the centre. Going to shoot that flick into the end zone for the goal. Threading the needle, finding the window where it seems like there was none. Excellent job by Fotta, dealing with the mounting pressure both on the pitch and from the sideline, extending the gap to 9-6. Tchac looked deflated here, as CUSB called a timeout. Partly because we're 3 points up with the clock dwindling. Take the time. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Haven't taken a timeout. Just a little huddle in the field from both teams. My mistake. I do apologise. Shaq, however, very much ready to still play on, knowing that they need to score and score quickly as well. Will not be surprised to see them strike deep, because we've seen it done before already quite effectively this game. The ball goes up from Tognetti. Ulan's going to catch that in the back of the end zone. Centering the disc now, isolating two players in the middle of the field. Labi's going to get free. That high release backhand is put out in front of him, but not so far out in front that Pote can get in the way. Irvine with the disc now. Oh, there's a receiver going deep. He's going to hit him with this blade. Defender coming from the backside. It's too far, but there at the back, picking up the trash. Excellent read there by Vincent Abita. The first receiver perhaps got suckered into a slightly early bid with the defender right on his back, Romain Moret. But thankfully, his teammate was behind him, saw what was going on. Just excellent recognition and vision there to see what was going on. Very perceptive play from that man there. Tchac closed the gap to 9-7 as the warning for 5 minutes left starts to play. Tchac need breaks, and they need them fast. Otherwise, it could be curtains. Tchac ball is rolled. Is fielded in the end zone eventually by CUSB. He's now with Mastroianni on this near side. He's going to rifle that deep, absolutely launching it. It's a great read by Francini, a lovely hug, just an absolute laser there from Mastroianni. Saw the window and had no fear in absolutely just blasting that backhand deep. Shaq needed breaks. What they didn't need was a CUSB score, at least from Shaq's perspective. The score happened quickly, so it didn't take too much time off the clock. But with time is now running out on the French side, they trail CUSB 10-7. Look at that backhand there, out in front of the receiver, blading from this near sideline back towards the middle of the pitch. That's one of the advantages of cutting towards the middle of the end zone. Means you've got so much more space to aim at. That cut goes down this near sideline. The window is so narrow, and any throw that blades like that is just going to go over his head. Good cutting placement there from the receiver. Tourney steps up to the pool. Fitted by Ulan, and he makes it forward to Moreau. Italians coming out in a zone here, trying to slow down the French. There's a man gone deep. I don't know if the French have seen him, though. And the window there, what might have been there, has now closed, it seems. Abita has it on this sideline. Hervé finds a lot of players around him. Just a little pop passes through. Abita's got it on this sideline. This is in the middle to Hervé. Oh, he's going to hammer it down the sideline, but that never seems to have a chance. The window was there, but just didn't get the trajectory of that right at all. Always trailing out of bounds. Needs to put it more in towards the middle of the end zone, but perhaps worried about perhaps defenders coming in the way and poaching off to get blocks. Tried to jam it right down the sideline, and that unfortunately did not come off at all. That lefty hammer. The blade forehand might have been more effective there, coming back in from the sideline, but that is a difficult throw. Inside out break, there goes to Tourney. Cosola with the disc now for the Italians. Just looking at the reset, gets a little flipped forehand to Tourney. He finds Davide Mori. Smooth forehand to Luca Tourney. But defender steals through. It's Abita again. He's having an excellent game. He's going to follow it up for the bookends and the score. Double happiness for Shaq. Closing the gap to 10-8. Excellent play by Abita. Just stealing through out of nowhere, picking the pocket of the Italian players, cracking the code to their offense, and then just immediately sprinting deep to catch the disc at the other end for the double happiness in the bookends. There is not much time left now for the French side. They need to score this point and score it quickly. Need to get the 7 on the line as quickly as they can. CUSB ready to receive. If you're Tchac, you have to play your most aggressive defense. Doesn't necessarily mean being overly physical, but you've got to try and really generate quick turns as that timer goes, and that is going to mean that it's going to be a case of too much too late. That is time up here for the French side, unfortunately. They can close the gap to 1, but they can't do more than that. Just gets one to that sideline. He's going to shoot that roll curving forehand deep. That's over the head of the intended target, Guglielmo Cini. Tchac can finish off with a goal here, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. And you can tell from the dejected look on the sidelines, they know it. You've got to keep your head up for this game. Making his way over to the 5 ultimate side. Pick that up. Just goes out into space for Fi. Nice catch on this near sideline. Paniel gets off in really tight coverage. And the play goes right the way down the sideline, back to Lepagnol for the goal. A lovely throw, but it is unfortunately too little too late. They do close the gap to 10-9, but with the cap gone off, that is going to be the end of the game. CUSB are going to advance here at Tom's Tourney with a 10-9 win over Shaq. What an exciting, exhilarating game. Shaq nearly had enough of the comeback, but they just left it slightly too late, unfortunately, from their point of view. An utterly compelling game here. One that I think we'll talk about in the future as well. Do stay tuned, though, because there's still got a couple more games to go here today at Tom's Tourney. Up next, we've got a women's game between Yaka and Nice Bristols. Don't go anywhere.